So here comes Nelson Piquet, he turns it up to full power now. And he makes the move! What splendid stuff from Piquet!
I raced all my life. I mean, from Formula 1, NASCAR, rally cars, now into Formula E. It is a big step in the future. Obviously, racing for me, everything is special, but I think there is a bit of a difference with Formula E being the first full electric series in the world.
Motorsports has been always a passion for us as a family, but we as a company have been investing in renewable energy sources so significantly, and we watched our favorite sport and we just didn't feel it was right. And we always wondered, okay, so guys, what's next? When are you gonna transition and become the forefront again of motorsports or of mobility developments? And Formula E is exactly that.
It's sort of a new generation of racing, having a much smaller carbon foot in all different aspects. It's for sure the most different forms of racing that has started, let's say, the last 5 to 10 years. Racing has been a big matter in our family, you know. My father started it. He was a mechanic and then all of a sudden became a driver. So many years has passed since he's raced and since his days of racing, his kind of technologies were in place. Now it's racing electric cars. It couldn't be more different than what it was.
The sort of guidance my father gave me was always stay true to yourself. And if you commit yourself to something, then you need to be 100% committed. And yeah, it gave me a strong guidance.
Wir befinden uns in einem Jahrhundertwandel.
When my father officially started handing over the business and gave a very emotional speech, I started to realize that I'm taking over that responsibility right now. It just felt right.
One race remains, but before you can race, you must qualify.
The way the races are being done and the way to run a family business are very, very similar because we as a family business have limited resources, so we need to make the most of it.
And in the race cars, the same thing. When we're in there, it's not like we have unlimited amount of energy. We have X amount of energy and we have to go get around the track as quick as you can with only that amount.
We're incredibly passionate about what we do, and being able to trust and have accountability and responsibility for delivery on what you're accountable for is critical in a performance environment. From day one, when we first met the team at Viessmann, was this kind of family ethos. And we're a big moving family. Every time we go to a race, a significant number of people all doing different roles. You feel all the successes, you feel all the lows together, but being able to, pull together at the right time, that's ultimately what actually delivers success.
The first time I considered joining the family business, I could feel and I could sense that's exactly the right environment for me to have an impact on the people as well as on the planet.
It's all about efficiency. Spend the right amount of energies in the right places in the right time. This works not only in racing, any kind of new companies, you have to also be efficient.
Formula E is at the forefront of mobility, but it's also the forefront of using energy responsibly and also generating electricity responsibly.
We're able to be as competitive as we are in any kind of different racing, but at the same time, we're doing something sustainable. I did go different ways from my dad, but at the same time, at the end, it's still racing.
Generations have always learned from each other. It's never been that the younger generation only learned from the elder, and now it's not the opposite. The truth is obviously in between, and if we learn fast enough, then we're successful.
My dad, believe it or not, has embraced this whole new technology more than I expected. When I started racing the electric cars, he didn't have much to say. And one day I got back home and they had an electric car.
we're absolutely kind of pushing the boundaries of the technology, and whether it's on how you get the most out of a battery, that means you can drive a car for as fast as you can, for as long as you can. That same technology transfer is incredibly relevant in homes and other applications. So the great thing about this exciting technology with battery electric vehicles is it's absolutely transferable to everything in our future lives.
It feels like a natural fit, to be honest, and there's so much that we can learn from one another, and so many dots that we can and are connecting right now.
5 lights go on, and we are racing immediately in a very good start. Little bumping and falling. PK still there, but he's going to go Heidfeld. And the Jaguar again slowing right now.
In the future, the more time goes by, the more people will realize how fast and how important this series was growing, and how this new technology can make a difference, and how much we can affect everybody.
If you want to have a worthwhile and worth living environment, you have to change things for the better. And you can't just do that in Central Europe by being completely committed towards renewable energies, but you have to do that on a global scale.